Olivia, I'm a bit tired today. Would you mind?
Oh, yeah, just let me grab the others.
Oh, thanks, you're a peach. No, I'm a hunter. An ace hunter! Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, today we're going to do the unthinkable. Enter Monster Hunter and not hunt monsters. At least we won't be hunting them ourselves directly. Something that I always enjoy messing around with in Monster Hunter games is just how effective you can make the NPCs, the AI, at killing monsters without the player themselves outputting any damage. Especially in Sunbreak, with that expansion with the proper AI followers that were in it, with their own sets of skills and weapons that you could choose from, you could really get effective with it. This time around in Monster Hunter Wilds, we have the support hunters as a replacement function, which are a similar system in theory, and when you use SOS flares, you can get them until they're replaced by people, or through the multiplayer settings, you can make it so you only get support hunters and no players, which is what I'll be doing today, taking these support hunters to the task, pushing them to their limits. The first thing that I tested off screen was whether support hunters or palicos do more damage, because support hunters fill the slots of players on a quest. If you have more than one support hunter, you lose palicos. And the quick answer is that support hunters do more damage over a quest, so we aren't going to be using palicos, we'll be using 3 support hunters properly. Palicos do have periods of burst damage, but they are very well rounded as far as their kit. They have a lot of utility focus too that takes away from their actual damage time. So overall for this test, we will be focusing on support hunters as our main source of damage. Before throwing them at stuff and seeing how they do though, let's go over all the ways that you can boost support hunters. From your equipment, you can use Blanganga 4-set bonus. This makes the For Victory emote apply bonus attack to all nearby allies. For player hunters, this is a +6 raw attack bonus, which is quite small, but the subtext on the actual set bonus states that it greatly affects palicos and support hunters, meaning that it has a larger effect on them than it does actual players, and we can't directly see the numbers for support hunters or for the palicos, at least updated by temporary buffs, which does make it quite hard to compare for this skill, but this definitely does make a notable difference when I'm using it and I use the emote, and so it's definitely going in. Mainly we go for Mushroomancer for more healing that we can carry for the most part. We get full wide range so that we can apply a bunch of items to the support hunters, mainly Demon Powder for extra attack on a shorter timer, Mega Demon Drug for a longer timer bonus attack, and then Might Pills for the shortest duration but largest amount of bonus attack, and we'll be applying those frequently to try and keep the buffs as active as possible. Then we'll also have the ability to heal the support hunters when they get hit because of wide range as well. And then we have a couple of ranks of speed eating too to help with the same purpose, and we have full 3 ranks of free meal to give us 45% chance of not consuming any of those items, which is why we can keep the Might Pills active so often. As well, I will be using shock traps and pitfall traps pretty frequently too, as this is mostly a test of the actual raw output for the support hunters more than anything else. First, we went up against a regular high-rank Chatacabra. At this point, I was learning the buffing patterns and such myself. There were plenty of times where buffs were dropping off, and when the hunt eventually ended, I realized that I completely forgot to use the emote boost even once throughout the entire hunt. I used no traps, I used barely any of the buffing consumables, and yet I was still quite surprised to see a sub 10-minute kill time from the time that we actually started fighting the monster. That said, some important things to note from this hunt that will apply as we move on, and I will be starting the proper hunt in the background now, which is going to be a tempered gore magala, which I figured would be a pretty good test. First though, the support hunters themselves will eventually stop attacking the monster unless you hit them and deal damage yourself. You can't just be swinging your weapon at nothing, you have to hit the monster. So while I am mostly trying to deal no damage at all, I will occasionally do things like kick the monster to make the support hunters get back in there. Sometimes it takes multiple kicks, sometimes I'll accidentally get a hunting horn hit in here or there because I'm also going to be buffing the support hunters, but overall the amount of damage that I'm doing compared to them is just an absolute fraction of the total. That said, Chatacabra was very quick. A couple of more of these happened as well, just to get myself more used to the actual pattern of spinning plates required, all of the buffs that I wanted to keep active on the NPCs, the healing to keep applied, but then also the fact that you have to hit the monster frequently enough that the NPCs don't go passive. Then also trying to put down things like traps at the right times as well. For the traps, I didn't want to completely overuse them, but I did restock either on zone transitions or deaths and grabbed more traps when doing so. And once again, to actually round this around, we're doing our big proper test on tempered gore magala. I die during this quest myself, though thankfully that doesn't stop support hunters from doing damage, so they keep going. You may be wondering how this went overall, and the simple answer is it was hell for me. and for gore. Dodging gore magala attacks while tanking some on occasion with an armor set that was way lower defense than you would usually have for this monster, and then also trying to manage all the buff timers for the support hunters too outside of that, and it was rough, honestly. In the earlier stages of the quest, it was a bit slow, but as we got to the enrage and the antennas started popping up, the feelers came out, traps going down at the moments that gore is most damageable, it started to really honestly turn around, and I was honestly very impressed at the coordination between the NPCs at certain points too. Then eventually we got the telltale skull symbol under the gore magala icon, showing that they had done enough damage to get him to limp, and he tried to run away to then go to sleep. So far so good, we could have captured him here if we wanted him to, but I wanted to see how far they would go and what the actual quest time would be. Everything was going great, and honestly I'm still just amazed that they were able to get this far on a monster this threatening. Well, we arrived to the sleeping monster then, get our buffs going again for the support hunters, and then a kick to wake him up. As we do this last section here, you'll be seeing one more important note about NPCs in Monster Hunter games, either followers or palicos or such like that, and this has been consistent across multiple games in the series for years, and it's that no matter how much damage an NPC does, they can never get the final hit on a large monster. They can put it down to 1 HP, but the player has to get that final damage. And so in this last section, you will see me sort of scrambling to get a kick in as frequently as I can, using 8 damage hits to check if we've actually hit that threshold. In the end, I get stuck just on the defensive for a good 30 seconds trying not to die, but then I get one last kick in and the monster goes down. So realistically, he may even have been at 1 HP up to 30 seconds earlier, but who's to say for certain? Across this entire hunt, I did maybe 500 damage total myself, between kicks and accidental hunting horn songs being played a bit too close. The entire rest of his health bar was done by support hunters, with buffs being constantly injected directly into their veins. And they killed the hardest version of one of the 2 hardest monsters in the game in under 25 minutes. The quest timer is at 25 minutes at the end of the quest. We first damaged the monster about 1 minute into that timer, so it's more realistically around 24 minutes of support hunter damaging time, give or take a little bit for the kick being needed for the actual kill shot at the end too. Honestly, I find that incredibly impressive. I am extremely proud of my support hunter friends, and I'm glad that they were willing to be the pawns in this strange Monster Hunter chess experience, but that's not it. We're not quite done yet. Now that we've gotten our sea legs under us and used this to topple a goddamn tempered gore magala in less than 25 minutes, let's sick the dogs on something far more weak and helpless. Frenzied Yan Kutku. Yep, we're going to go pick on a sick chicken without laying a hand on it ourselves. I'm gonna let this one play out in the background just so you can enjoy the whole thing from start to finish. Trust me, it is worth it. Just watch them hunt and enjoy. And that is it, everyone. Below 2-minute frenzied yonkut coup kill, 99% or more of the damage done by the support hunters. Just a couple of kicks and a single blast of music from the hunter. Ridiculous, isn't it? I absolutely love when the game gives us tools that lets us do things like this, regardless of how awkward it feels to actually use. Because obviously no one is just going to play like this as their main way of playing Monster Hunter. No one is going to just only play the game this one way. But the fact that this is a way that you can play Monster Hunter, it's a thing that you can do, and a way that you can do it successfully too, killing some of the hardest shit that exists in reasonable quest timers, is really, really cool to me, and it makes me appreciate the games even more. I hope you've all enjoyed this a little dive into support hunters and seeing just how strong they can get. Like if you liked the video, subscribe to the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.